Ding dong, the bell has just rung and your long-awaited parcel has arrived. You are guessing, and then guess what? It was a delivery too, but a letter from a postmail, not the smartwatch that you ordered and waited almost an hour. Now think, you're not the only one who placed an order for that particular gadget. The item you ordered is only a fraction of a drop in the ocean within online shopping. To cope with such intense upsurge of parcels, the modern-day logistics industry is a major contributor in making sure the massive volumes of products reach the destination in perfect order and time with no mismanagement whatsoever. To understand what modern logistics is all about, Investopedia says, it's the whole process of managing how resources are collected, stored, and transported to the final destination. And CTO-managed logistics, identifying distributors and suppliers, is crucial along with determining their effectiveness and accessibility. Also, if you look at Statista, you'll figure out that in 2023, the global logistics industry had a market size of around a whopping $9.41 trillion, which is projected to exceed to $14.08 trillion by 2028. Do you realize how enormous the logistics industry is? So, if you wonder how all this works out so smoothly and safely worldwide, let's stick around with the details and take a sneak peek into how the advanced logistics of the future work out in this day and age. It's a no-brainer that shopping online is a popular and widely practiced shopping method, compared to the hectic traditional physical shopping. Whether it's a branded trench coat, a 2-in-1 printer, useful office supplies, a portable smoothie blender machine, or even hard-to-find gardening tools, anyone who orders online obviously expects the quickest delivery. Some of the customers paid hefty to get their products in the fastest time due to their premium option. What happens if that premium doesn't arrive on time? This is exactly where modern logistics steps in to streamline the entire process of collecting to delivering goods to designated customers. In 2018, the courier, express and parcel sector in Germany alone delivered nearly 3.5 billion shipments. And for a more recent take, in the US, the parcel shipping volume reached a staggering 21.2 billion parcels in 2022. And in 2023, global retail e-commerce sales reached an estimated $5.8 trillion. This amount is expected to go over $8 trillion by 2027. No surprise, the numbers keep rising even after facing several hurdles in digitalization, climate crisis, increasing world population, political and economic instability. Well, you'll find the solution in processes that are followed in the world of current-day logistics. Starting from large warehouses, cargo planes, and delivery bikes on their final stretch to customers, the logistics industry demonstrates how things work. Now, you'll hardly find anyone who has not heard of DHL or FedEx. Suppose you need to send some leather bags from Italy to Australia. You will obviously look for a reliable and trustworthy way to send them on time. It's because you want to end up sending your parcel to the right destination while tracking it from its initial dispatch to final delivery. By the way, there remains an exorbitant cost attached to it. This is when companies like DHL prove to be a savior. And if you particularly look at Deutsche Post DHL Group, which happens to be one of the largest logistics providers globally, you will understand it traces its initiation from a state-owned postal service named Deutsche Bundespost in Germany since 1989. DHL was originally founded in the United States as a courier company, and it established operations in different countries globally. In 2002, Deutsche Post, which is a German postal and logistics company, acquired DHL and integrated it into its operations. So, DHL from the US became part of Deutsche Post DHL Group through acquisition, which is a German company. Also, there's a giant smart warehouse in the Netherlands, which is equivalent to 18 football fields and processes around 100,000 parcels daily. And when we checked DHL's overall statistics, we got to learn that they serve 220 countries around the world and deliver over a whopping 1.6 billion parcels a year. Here's the interesting part of today. Rather than telling theoretically how the entire logistics operation run, what we would rather do is follow a parcel till it reaches a specified destination. By doing so, it will give us an idea of how many stops the parcel goes through and how work gets done in those places, from their reception to handling, passing across various departments, how the automated machines are controlled, and how they are checked in the flight. So, a staff member, who is guided by smart glasses, receives instructions on where to head to take a look or receive the parcel from a huge pool of items scattered across this vast warehouse. The staff member did not need to be verbally instructed or communicated with instructions. All it really took was a digitized form of instruction. Well, there is a but though. Because of the presence of smart warehouses, staff in the warehouse no longer have to do the core operations of the logistics. It is greatly taken care of by advanced machines and computers. For example, in this modern warehouse, any given parcel already has a unique code tracked in the system, so it will be heavily monitored throughout its journey, while being monitored by the high complex camera and computer systems. It means less intervention from the employees working there. On this, Rick van den Broek had insightful things to share. He collaborates closely with international logistics experts from Deutsche Post DHL. About this company, it's a German-based postal service that operates under different names in different countries. And in the Netherlands, Deutsche Post is known as DHL and is a major international shipping and logistics company. DHL gives several services, including air and sea freight, parcel delivery, and complete contract logistics solutions. Regarding their revenue figure, in 2022, Deutsche Post DHL generated over 94.4 billion euros in revenue. From its operational regions, they gained over 22.3 billion euros from its American segment and over 48 billion from its largest market in Europe. Notably, Deutsche Post DHL Group is the world's largest postal and logistics group. Now, moving back to Rick, their warehouse combines robotization with human workers, alongside incorporating artificial intelligence and big data analysis. With hundreds of people working in the warehouse, a huge amount of data gets collected. This data is then analyzed to identify where the bottlenecks are being created and how to improve efficiency within the supply chain. As an addition to that, it helps predict customer demands and suggests enhancements in the process to make sure the end customer receives products more conveniently. If you hypothesize, modern logistics have only been around when digitalization was introduced, you are literally living under a rock. In actuality, the source of logistics traces back to the military, when Romans used to supply their armies with necessary goods. Even before that, the history of logistics actually goes way back to the time of the beginning period of human civilizations, when people were required to move goods for the sake of survival rather than business. From 3300 BCE to 332 BCE, the Egyptian Empire developed transport and storage techniques to maintain food and basic commodities supply. Afterward, from 27 BCE to 476 CE, the Roman Empire established an extensive network of routes to facilitate the carriage of goods and troops across the broad territory. And this is how it all began in the ancient times, when nobody came across the term logistics, but they were involved in it anyway. Stepping back to the international scenario, there has been a notable surge in transportation handling and the enhancement of storage systems since the 1970s. And if you look at the current logistics of local networks, they combine manufacturers, dealers, and waste disposal contractors. What they do is create a value chain so that it's easier to process everything from the source of the raw material to the product and its final disposal. Moving forward with Marcus Voss, the global CIO and COO of DHL Supply Chain. He talks about the significance of modern logistics for different companies. The role that DHL Supply Chain plays in ensuring timely delivery of goods worldwide is less visible to the end users. That means common people mostly order a bunch of products and wait for it, but they never care how those products will arrive at their homes and through how many and at which processes. With a global workforce of 140,000 people and an annual growth rate consistently reaching double digits, the task of finding a sufficient number of skilled workers poses a significant challenge. It's simply because of the seriousness, timeliness, and criteria of the work. Let's be honest, nobody likes to receive 2 sets of curtains someone else ordered, instead of a pair of ripped jeans that you have been eyeing on. This may not be rocket science, but the delivery processes need to be accurate and prompt in our daily lives. It's no wonder the larger the industries, the more harmful gas emissions there will be. And there is no escape from this, no matter which industry we discuss. But here's where Deutsche Post has stood out. Their main objective is to provide services without emitting such toxic greenhouse gases by the year 2050. Yes, it does sound like a far-fetched dream, but it's not a total impossibility. Tough to work on, but somewhat achievable if taken seriously. Initiatives like solar power generation and electromobility, including the CO2 neutral electric delivery van, can greatly help. Marcus Voss focused on the continuous need to enhance efficiency and sustainability, while paying attention to the commitment to carbon neutrality for customers. Additionally, rising protectionism, which means government policies that restrict international trade to help domestic industries, can help with global supply chains. Also, events like Brexit necessitate adjustments in the same way. Also, being strategically advanced and diverse is not to be taken lightly here. You can't expect to work in any industry without following in-depth strategies, especially in such advanced sectors. On this, Niels Müller, the managing director of Trendone, stressed the need to predict the future and create effective strategies accordingly. About his company, Trendone is a strategic innovation consultant, where it's possible to systematically identify the most valuable opportunities for innovation. He also said, if one understands what the future should look like, it enables the businesses to plan ahead and gain a competitive edge. Müller cleverly compared logistics to an operating system and described it as the foundation for global operations. And if you want to see a demonstration of this particular system, here it goes. In Leipzig, East Germany, the world's largest DHL air freight center operates continuously. Interestingly, it functions like an airport but handles goods instead of passengers. Every night, numerous parcels and goods from around the globe arrive, are sorted, and prepared for onward transport. As soon as DHL's cargo jets and partner airlines planes land every 6 minutes, products are swiftly unloaded and loaded to maintain the delivery pace. Despite the short amount of time, ensuring fast delivery is crucial. The Air Hub shift begins at 7:30 p.m. with Ralf Wondrak and his team at the Network Control Center overseeing operations. By 10 p.m., the facility works at full capacity and makes sure there's efficiency. It's clear that every step's pace is carefully controlled. Any disruption in this precise logistics process can cause delays and lead to customer dissatisfaction. Ralf Wondrak is the general manager of DHL Hub, Leipzig. He informed that around 70 planes were expected that night. Those would carry 350,000 to 400,000 shipments, which were bound for 50 different destinations. At 10 p.m., the hub begins operations with over 2,500 trained staff unloading, packing, and loading shipments. Despite the apparent chaos, it remains a well-coordinated operation involving people, machines, and software. The inbound flights are managed by teams monitoring them as they approach and land. Once on the ground, the planes are parked and unloaded rapidly. Each plane includes containers holding numerous shipments, which are then transported to terminals for sorting. After the sorting is done, the shipments are moved to outbound areas and loaded back onto the plane. Now, the sorting system is not as simple as it may sound. It deals with huge volumes of products. The sorting center here is a massive building, which is almost a kilometer long, with 47,000 meters of sorting belts, longer than a marathon. It handles around 2,000 tons of freight every night, including the parcel that we have been following. After arriving, parcels go through several steps: unloading, forwarding inside the terminal, registering, loading, and onward transport. On to the next step, these parcels are destined for delivery in Frankfurt city center the next morning. Again, managing the intercontinental flight network is no easy feat. Regardless of weather conditions or uncalled-for delays, the staff must remain calm and composed. Also, they should rely on their experience and ensure shipments reach the right aircraft and customers without any difficulty or confusion. For example, whether a plane comes from South Africa or China, the process involves dealing with issues like late arrivals due to changes in unavoidable weather. During nighttime, cargo planes from around the world land every 6 minutes, since 10 p.m. precision and timing are taken sincerely in this case. For instance, an Airbus A330 from Amsterdam is scheduled to arrive at midnight and must depart by 2:30 a.m. As the clock keeps ticking at its own pace, the plane reaches on time. When the plane lands on the given schedule and people stand in front of the massive jet, they are strictly advised not to approach the turbines as there's danger in it. Once all is in place, the dedicated teams get on with their tasks without wasting a second. To get the real gist of how things really work in rush hour, nobody can answer better than a staff member who experiences it firsthand. And to maintain smooth operations on the ramp, a dedicated staff member constantly monitors the process, who also needs to maintain a calm demeanor and avoid panicking. At least a team of 7 individuals efficiently unloads and loads cargo onto the plane, while essential maintenance and tasks are carried out simultaneously. In the middle of this fast-paced environment, Catherine Neupert shared her way of looking at the processes. By the way, she is the ramp supervisor who's responsible for overseeing the team's activities. With her 7 years of experience in this role, she has seen the struggles caused by adverse weather conditions like thunderstorms and heavy rain. These natural reasons are dealt with by the suspension of loading operations to prevent damage to cargo. Additionally, she raised the concern that they always have to work at night shift, which means there's reduced visibility and different activities. This could lead to an accident at any given time. She also pointed out how important it is to check cargoes during inbound and outbound flights. This makes sure the loading and transportation is secure, especially while handling hazardous or fragile materials. And freight volumes rise even more before the season of the holidays. She concluded by focusing on practicing well-balanced management skills and prioritizing safety so that mishaps can be lessened. Next up, let's get back to the parcel that was being carried. Here, the cargo carrier was prepared for takeoff, which was a process to be completed in under 2 hours. Its destination was Bergamo in Italy, where it will be unloaded within an hour. Following a final check by the co-pilot, the plane disappeared into the night. But one thing was for sure: the work was continuous at the Leipzig hub, where the staff toiled hard through rain and storm. Surprisingly, it happens nearly every day of the year. That is tiring for certain, but this is serious work with many untold emergencies, which is why it is always supervised carefully and strictly. And about the parcel again, it was scheduled for delivery the next morning in Frankfurt. Moving on to Niels Muller for a bit now. He discussed the potential of autonomous logistics with fully automated processes involving infrastructure, intralogistics, urban logistics, and final delivery. He described a future where autonomous shops and staffless stores can bring goods directly to customers, almost like having a store at one's doorstep. His words may either sound too imaginative or slightly complex at the moment, but think about it for a minute. You're getting your favorite pair of headphones from Bose. It's being delivered by a robot that looks like a robot vacuum, which resembles the Roomba. Won't that excite and fascinate you at the same time? Surely it will leave you in literal awe and double your joy of online shopping. Perhaps such an event is not far from the reality of the future indeed. Now, the moment of truth. It was finally time for the parcel to arrive in Frankfurt city centre. At a specialized container located in front of the district court, shipments and parcels are loaded by a courier driver into a delivery van. And this compact city hub is less than 10 meters long, and it operates similarly to the large Leipzig hub. From there, parcels are further distributed by bicycle couriers across the city. About bicycle couriers, don't you think it's more helpful to use bikes for delivery in congested cities and narrow roads? Especially due to heavy traffic, bikes seem like a more convenient option, right? If it's possible to deliver pizzas with bikes, other products can also find a way here. However, you need to be cautious if the item is too fragile or sensitive. Getting back to Marcus Reckling on this for some more insights. The city hub serves as a transit point near customers in the city centre, and mentions the challenge of finding suitable logistics space in the urban areas. The micro depot was established with support from the city of Frankfurt, and it utilizes 3 parking spaces for operations to enable early sorting and local access. This setup resolves the issue of limited real estate availability in cities. Additionally, if you know about vehicles in general, you know that a bike produces way less carbon compared to large vehicles. So you can already guess, there are environmental benefits that tag along with bike delivery. If you look at the numbers, bikes reduce carbon dioxide emissions by approximately 20 tons annually, which proves they are more environmentally friendly than delivery vans. In fact, this reduction is equivalent to the emissions produced by 2.5 delivery vans in a year. Since traffic is a universal issue, the micro depot also contributes to improved traffic flow in the city centre. When you fully utilize bikes for delivery, the common courier vehicles no longer congested streets with double parking or occupy no waiting zones. Like we already mentioned, bikes are eco-friendly, speedy, maneuverable, and have the capability to deliver timely with a responsible rider. Alexander Ruppert, a rider of the DHL Express Deutschland bike courier, talked about the practical challenges with large delivery vans in urban centers, where traffic congestion and limited loading bays make moving difficult. To ease things out, bikes offer flexibility and speed to let couriers pass through crowded areas like the city center and banking district. In such areas, larger vehicles usually struggle to pass. Various goods are continuously moved worldwide at a rapid pace. It's easier to do with a combination of technology and human effort. This operation style is monitored and directed by computers, artificial intelligence, robots, and human workers. Humans might sometimes lag behind to work around the clock in terms of delivering, but when technology gets involved here, humans have the assistance from a reliable source to get work done without any delay. Still, the question comes to your curious little mind. Who gets to be the brain behind these innovative ideas, and what does the future hold for logistics? It's a common practice to keep information confidential for many companies, especially regarding future products. While such companies keep their developmental processes hidden, Deutsche Post DHL's Innovation Center near Bonn provides insights into upcoming technological advancements. This is how the company differentiates itself from the rest. For instance, you must have heard about drone deliveries. These showcase products already in use or nearing implementation, such as drones for inventory management, transport robots that follow employees autonomously, and monitoring sensors to ensure safe transport of sensitive products like medicines or other necessities. Markus Kuckelhaus is the Vice President of Trend Research at Deutsche Post DHL. He identifies 3 key trends to shape the future of logistics: automation and robotics, the Internet of Things, IoT, and artificial intelligence, AI. These trends are already influencing the industry and will continue to do so in the coming years. Among these, AI has taken the center stage in many sectors, including logistics. If we talk a bit further about it, Product Perfect stated, artificial intelligence has undoubtedly been a driving force to accelerate efficiency and effectiveness in the logistics industry. Processes and operations, which include route optimization, inventory management, and predictive maintenance, are streamlined for this addition. AI algorithms are more helpful as it's used to analyze data, optimize delivery routes, and reduce costs. Also, AI-powered systems are capable of tracking and managing inventory levels, while checking if there's stock shortages and overstocking. Predictive maintenance lets companies identify and resolve potential issues with vehicles and equipment. As AI continues to evolve, it is likely that new applications and uses will help the logistics industry to operate better. For example, FedEx is using AI for delivery optimization and robotic delivery navigation. Also, Amazon is using AI to power its search bar. So now modern logistics is in a constant state of advancement, and it tags along research, development, testing period, and application driving progress. It's almost like a never-ending process on a loop. Like we already pointed out, technologies such as AI, collaborative robotics, and drone delivery are already being implemented. Aside from that, logistics itself is part of a broader trend towards mobility. One might assume logistics industry is not concerned about the environmental impact it has on the world. But that's not what the truth prevails. In fact, the trend of mobility in logistics incorporates 3 main factors: zero emissions, zero waste, and zero latency. The objective here is to provide mobility solutions with minimal environmental impact, lower the amount of waste throughout the production and mobility processes, and diminish delays in the transportation time. And you should be familiar with a term called Hyperloop, which is worth mentioning here. It is a proposed high-speed transportation system for both passengers and freight. This system allows traveling at speeds of up to 1,000 kilometers per hour and aids in achieving zero emissions, zero waste, and zero latency in transportation. Now question yourself, if you were a part of this logistics industry, how would you keep everything organized with accuracy? Simple: keep track of data, required automation, steps to be followed, implicate innovative ideas, and obviously take timeliness into account. So yes, logistics is ever evolving, and the main trend in logistics is driven by data, automation, and innovation. However, the fundamental goal of logistics services is fast delivery, and it has remained the same for centuries, dating back to the beginning of the postal sector around 500 years ago.